There is something unnervingly fragile about a human face in sleep. The breath slows, the eyes flicker behind their lids, and the muscles forget the burdens of the day. Yet something remains, an essence, a presence, something that does not sleep. If the body is a machine of flesh and synapse, then who is the watcher behind the eyes? This question, what lies beneath the mask, what endures beyond thought, has haunted the human species since the first campfires flickered in prehistoric darkness. Do we have a soul? Or are we only electrical storms contained in skin? For millennia, religion has offered an answer, yes. The soul, say the mystics, is the truest part of you, the part that remembers the divine. That longs for eternity. In Christianity, it is the immortal seed breathed into flesh by God. In Hinduism, it is the Atman, timeless and unchanging, wandering through lives in search of liberation. In Islam, it is the Ruh, a breath from the Creator, hidden within the heart. Every tradition wraps the soul in different cloth, but all agree on one thing: it exists, and it matters more than anything else. But then came the scalpel. Then came the microscope, the scanner, the electrode. Neuroscience rose from the Enlightenment's rational soil and began to carve into the very seat of the self. The brain, it seemed, was not merely a vessel, it was the source. Memories could be erased with a scalpel's touch. Personality could shift with a blow to the skull. Love, fear, faith, all these could be induced or disrupted with the right combination of chemicals and electricity. Where, then, was the soul? Some scientists argued it was never there. The soul was poetry, they said, an invention of minds too terrified to face oblivion. What we call the self is merely a trick of the brain, a loop of awareness generated by neurons referencing themselves, a user illusion with no substance. When the neurons go quiet, the illusion fades. Nothing remains. Consciousness is an emergent property, they insist, complex, yes, but no more magical than weather, but others, peering deeper into the machinery of the mind, began to hesitate. Neuroscience could map the activity of thought, but it could not explain experience. No scan could reveal why red looks the way it does, or what it feels like to grieve, or to love, or to fear death. The qualia, those raw, private sensations, remain untouched by science, like shadows on a wall. The brain is physical. Consciousness is not. The two are bound, yes, but not reducible to each other. And in that gap, some still see the soul. If the soul exists, then what is it? Not a thing, perhaps, but a field, an awareness not bound to matter but interacting with it. Theologians and philosophers speak of it as the seat of morality, of memory, of personhood. It is what allows the body to love. It is what dreams, what weeps at music, what reaches for something higher. But then again, one might ask, if memory can be destroyed by trauma, if morality can be corrupted by disease, then how does the soul persist? Is it separate, or merely the sum of the body's functions? There are cases that resist easy explanation. Terminal lucidity, the sudden return of clarity to a dying brain, even one ravaged by dementia, defies known biology. Near-death experiences, often reported across cultures and beliefs, speak of tunnels, light, a sense of peace beyond comprehension. Are these hallucinations of a brain starved of oxygen, or glimpses of something more? And what of children who speak of past lives with detail that cannot be easily dismissed? The evidence is inconclusive. The anecdote strange, but they whisper of something unsolved. Science moves slowly, and rightly so. The soul cannot be placed on a slide. But perhaps it is not meant to be found with instruments. Perhaps it reveals itself only in silence, in reflection, in those rare moments when we feel ourselves lifted out of time. Some describe it as the sudden awareness of being more than a body. Others feel it as conscience, a voice not quite their own. For some, it emerges in suffering, when pain strips the self to its core and something deeper speaks. And there is a paradox here. the more we search for the soul, the more elusive it becomes. When we ask directly, what is the soul? It hides. But when we forget the question and simply live, it sometimes rises like mist from the ground. It may not be a thing that can be proven. It may not be an object, but an event, a phenomenon, a spark between body and world. Or it may be what remains when all else is gone. Religion says the soul is eternal. Science says nothing lasts forever. But in between, in the shadowed spaces where thought meets wonder, there is room for another possibility, that the soul is neither inside nor outside, but a process, an unfolding, a flame that is passed rather than possessed. You are not your soul. You become it, moment by moment, and when the body falls away, when the brain goes still and no more words are spoken, perhaps the soul is not extinguished. Perhaps it joins something larger. A field of memory. A web of awareness. A pattern in the structure of the universe. Or perhaps it drifts, not bound by space, not lost, but simply elsewhere. Unseen, but still becoming. Waiting, always, to be remembered.